Hello, welcome. I'm going to make sure that all of our sound is working and you can see me okay. So hang on a second. Yay, good, it's working. Well, welcome. Today I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to help you set up your sewing machine for quilting. So a lot of times our machines just come preset, ready to go, but sometimes they can get a little wonky on us and it can mess up our quilt blocks. So if you've been struggling with your quilt blocks coming out to the correct size, this trick might help you. So before we get going here, I'm going to wait just a second, let other people get on here. So when you hop on, make sure you say hi in the comment box. I love hearing from you. You can tell us where you're from. That's always fun to see where everybody's watching from. And then I have a few announcements to get going here. So hang on with me just a second. I'm using StreamYard to stream this live video. So you may have to give StreamYard permission to use your name. I'm not sure if it gives you like a link in the description box to give us permission. Otherwise, just comment hi and we'll see if it works. So let me see here. Looks like everything's good to go. All right. So a few announcements are Your Quilting Journey membership is open. Yay! So it was 1 year exactly from today that we launched this membership called Your Quilting Journey Academy. And this membership is so much fun. So it's a monthly or a yearly subscription, and you get all the videos in that membership. So we have 5 different stages of a quilting journey to help you get going from the very beginning stages all the way to finishing your quilt that you're going to be proud of and you will want to show off that quilt. This next quarter, we're going to be focusing on memory quilt making. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm an expert at memory quilts. I have made hundreds of memory quilts, from t-shirt quilts, of course, baby clothes, button-down shirts, formal wear, even gymnastics outfits we've created memory quilts out of. So I am so excited to share with you all of my secrets, my tips, and my tricks on how to make memory quilts within our academy. So when you join the academy, it's only open, the registration is only open until July 20th. So don't wait to get in. We start the memory quilt making process today. The first video is loaded and ready to go on the membership website, and you'll be able to make your memory quilt with us. So make sure you sign up today so you get that first video. Otherwise, the second video is going to be launched on the 22nd. So that's why we're closing cart on the 20th, so that everybody is in and ready to go on the 22nd. We'll also be having a live Zoom class. The time is going to be determined there depending on everybody's availability, so that you can watch how to do the second step live. The pre-recorded will be on the website as well if you're not able to make it. We try to make it very easy and simple for everyone to join in the fun. So even if you have a way busy schedule right now and you're not able to make it to the live classes, that's okay. You'll be able to watch the replay or the pre-recorded video later on the website. So back up here. The Academy is an online membership. Everything is online. You don't have to be in person. So even if you're not local to Casper, Wyoming, that's where we're located, totally fine. You can join us from anywhere in the world. All of the videos sit on our membership website page. It's kind of like an online classroom. It's so cool how this website has everything set up. Once you watch a video, it will tell you complete. And so you will know where you're at within the video, so you don't have to go through a million videos to find where you left off. So, hey, Tracy. Yes, I have made hundreds and hundreds of memory quilts. Hi, Erin. Thanks for joining me today. So make sure you go check that out on our website. There is a membership button at the top that you can learn more about what the Academy is like. The only information not on there right now is what we are focusing on this next quarter, which is memory quilt making. So also, it's only going to be available through the next 12 weeks. Once these 12 weeks are over, the memory quilt making class will disappear. It'll be bye-bye. So make sure you stay with us. That way you get your memory quilt made and you'll know all the tips and tricks on how to do it so you can make hundreds of them yourself, because believe me, they are a hot thing right now. Everybody loves memory quilts. And once you make one and someone sees that you can make one, you'll be sure to be getting other requests for them. So just to warn you. Hi, Rochelle. Thanks for joining today. So the other thing is, if you are local to Casper, Wyoming, or in surrounding areas, we're having an in-person class on July 17th at Calico Cat Quilt Shop in Casper, Wyoming. She's going to be our host there, and I'll be teaching you all of those tips and tricks during a live class as well. There is a sign up under classes on my website, so you can click classes and sign up for that for July 17th. And then there's another one at Prism Quilt Shop in Casper on the 31st. So make sure that you join us for those as well. I would love to see you and be able to do a live class with you. I'm so happy that we're able to do live classes again. I've missed doing them live with you guys. I mean, talking to a screen is hard because I'm just here all by myself and it feels kind of weird, but talking in person is really fun and being able to hang out with you. So those are my announcements. There's a couple upcoming classes too, so make sure you stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, make sure you do that. I'm not sure if there's a link in the description box for that here, but you can go to our website, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the homepage, and there's a Let's Connect button where you can put in your information so you don't miss out on any upcoming classes and fun stuff that's coming soon. I'm so excited. So let's get going on the tips and tricks for today. So let me change my camera view here, and hopefully everything's going to work. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today is how to set up your sewing machine for quilting. I have seen several of my students come get their machine set up and they just go. And then they have a mess up, or their block isn't turning out correctly and they're getting frustrated about why it's not working. So one major thing is possibly your setup here. So this machine is computerized, obviously, and so I'm going to show you how to set up a computerized machine first, and then I'll flip you over to our classroom sewing machine and show you how to set that one up as well, because it's a little bit more manual. So let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit so you can see it better. So here at the bottom, adjust the camera. Here at the bottom is my stitch width, my stitch length. This is left, right, shift, and then tension. So stitch length and tension are the big ones you want to pay attention to. So this machine comes preset at a 2.5 stitch length. That's usually what you're going to use for quilting. Occasionally the pattern will tell you to lower it to 2.0, which is what the Underground Railroad quilt does. So if you have that pattern, make sure you change your stitch length to 2.0. This is going to help you get your blocks to turn out exactly the way that they're supposed to, because the stitches are going to help shrink your fabric just a little bit. The tension of the stitch length and your tension can change the size of your fabric, I guess I'm trying to say. So tension is usually set at a 4. Now tension goes hand in hand with what kind of thread you're using. So here is my favorite thread. You all know that. I love Aurifel thread. This is a 50 weight Aurifel thread, and it has a ton of thread on the spool, so it feels like it lasts forever. So if you've been using an all-purpose type thread from a big box store, once you run out of that stuff, ditch it. Get some of this. It's worth the money. I promise you. It's $14 per spool, but it lasts forever, like I said. And it's going to help you get your quilt blocks to line up correctly. They're going to measure correctly once you're done with them, because sometimes that all-purpose thread is a little bit thicker and it can kind of just mess everything up. So it's also very linty, the all-purpose. This stuff is less linty, so you're not going to be cleaning out your sewing machine as often. So that's going to help your sewing machine last longer, because you won't have as much lint buildup or problems with all the gears and things. So this is definitely worth the price. So back to tension, you're usually going to be around a 4. Now, if your weight to your thread is higher, the higher the count, the thinner the thread. So if it's a 60 weight or 80 weight, you're going to want to increase your tension to probably a 5 or so. But I just kind of play with it one button at a time and see if it's working better for me. Some practice blocks before you tackle your real quilt, and just kind of play with that tension with your thread. If it is too tight, you'll see it in your fabric. It'll be all bunchy and weird looking. And also, if it's too low, it's going to have a really loose tension. So you might get some eyelashing, some skip stitches, things like that. So start at a 4, play with that and see what you like. So again, weight to your thread is very important. So this is a 50 weight. That goes great with a 4.0 tension. If you have a higher weight, your thread is going to be thinner. So you're going to want a higher tension. So 60 and higher, you might want a little bit more tension. If it's a larger thread, that means it's going to have a smaller number. So anywhere down to a 12. I have some 12 spaghetti thread that's great for embroidery, but you can use it in the sewing machine as well. That you're going to want a lower tension on. So that's kind of the overview of that. So our width is usually only used for decorative stitches or zigzag stitches. So if I change it to a zigzag here, let's see if you can see the top. So see, you can see my zigzag stitch here. And then if I increase the width, it's going to get it larger. And then if I go down, it's going to make it smaller. And then also with my stitch length, we can decrease that and it will make that zigzag tighter to a satin stitch. So this is a satin stitch where everything's zigzagged right on top of each other so that you have this smooth line. So that's very helpful for applique work. If you're doing machine applique and you want a satin stitch over your applique. So that's another little helpful tip for you. Trying to think here if there's anything else on this machine. Probably not. So let's go over to the other machine. This is my little brother. I call him my little brother. And it's a little bit more of a manual machine. It has a little bit of computer here, as you can see. Let me change my screen here, make sure you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so if you have a machine similar to this, which it's a very popular machine, this is the one we use in my classroom. This is the one that you can find at big box stores a lot of times. It's really inexpensive machine. I think it's like $150 on Amazon. So if you're in the market for a new machine and you're just getting going, this one's a great one. We have an Amazon link to this one, I believe, in our online store. So if you just go to journeybackquilts.com, then click store, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's a list of Amazon links that you can use there. So this button here is your stitches. So they correspond to these stitches here. So a 0, 0 is all the way to the left. We usually go right in the center at 01. So I'll just change that to 01. But then you've got all these decorative stitches here. If you wanted to go down to 59, you would just change this to 5 and this to 9. And then you'd have that decorative stitch at the bottom there. So pretty cool, fun little machine. This number up at the top is your stitch length. So you can see there's like a little stitch dotted dash kind of line here. That's your stitch length. So it's at a 2.5 right now. So you can just move that up or down depending on. And then it also has that circle around it to show you that that's the preset that the machine usually uses. But you can move it wherever you need to. And then the button below that is your stitch width for a zigzag stitch. So you could move that if you had it set to zigzag, which is a 4. And then you can see that at that zigzag, it changed the stitch length to 1.4. So try it out and see if that's what you want. Sometimes machines know what they need, and then you can change it from there to whichever number of stitch length that you want. Okay. And then also on this machine, just to kind of point out some things, this is your speed bar, so you can go slow or fast. This is your needle up or down. We don't ever use this button here. This is your back stitch button. So if you needed to set your stitch in place. And then tension is up here. So your machine might have a little dial up here as well, where it has that 3-4-5. So 4 is that middle point of tension, and you can move that up or down depending on what your thread weight is or what kind of project you're doing. So try those tips out. See if that helps you with getting your blocks to line up correctly so that they're finishing at the correct size. Also do a little bit of a test run with your fabric and see if your stitches look nice, right? You don't want them to look bunchy, the fabric to look bunchy. Let's switch you back to this camera if it will. This camera is getting sticky. I'm not sure why. Come on. Yes, Tracy, you will just have to play with your featherweight and play with the tension to see where it sits. So let me show you another thing real quick. If my camera will switch to the right camera, it keeps getting stuck and I'm not sure why. Come on. Come on, little thing. Okay, here we go. So let me back it up here so you can see what's going on. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to sew a little bit here on this, and I'll show you kind of what I mean with the tension. Oh, I have it on zigzag. Let's switch that. There we go. Okay, so this is set at a 4.0 tension and a 2.5 stitch length. Let's see if you can see that, if it'll focus. Come on, focus. So can you see the stitches, how they are just perfectly uniform? And also on the back, they're perfectly uniform. And you can feel it, that it's smooth, it's not too tight. Also, you'll be able to tell if the tension is off if you get eyelashes on the back, which is the little loopsies that the bobbin will create. So let's try to change the tension and see if my machine will mess up. So I'm going to go way, 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 way low on my tension at 2.5. Okay, I'm at a 0 tension now, so let's see what that does. So it still looks pretty good, actually. I think my machine didn't update that. Actually, the back looks a little funky. You can see the top stitch coming through the bottom, which means that my bobbin is pulling that thread through the fabric too much. We want those threads to kind of sit right in the center. So let's go really high. Okay. And see, it was so high it broke my thread. So that's another indication. If you're having a lot of thread breaks, check your tension on that as well. So, and then let's play with stitch length. So I'm going to go back to a 4.0 tension. And let's do a really low stitch length. This is going to be really tight. Oh, need to rethread this baby. Oh, my camera's freezing on you. There we go. Okay. So I'm at a 0.2 stitch length. It's so tiny, it's not even moving the fabric. So tiny. Super duper tiny. Now, doing foundation paper piecing, it's great to have a lower stitch length because then your stitches are closer together to rip that paper out. But for most quilting, we're going to be at that 2.5, remember. Okay, so now I'm going to go up really high stitch length, and this would be more of a basting stitch, which is great when you're making ruffles and things like that, or you just want to baste your quilts before you sew it. This could be helpful. So now my stitches are really wide, which helps to be able to rip them out easily. You can just pull the threads right out. If I can get a hold of it. Come on. So it just pulls right out, which is helpful for a basting stitch. That's what we do on the long arm when we're just getting the quilt to load on the long arm. So that is how you're going to set up your sewing machine. So go play with your sewing machine. See if you can play with that that tension and the stitch length and all of those buttons and things. Just have some fun, grab some scraps of fabric and just play with it and see where your tension needs to sit and where your stitch length needs to sit. And then leave me a comment below, see if it worked for you and if you found the right number combination with the type of thread that you're using. And maybe if you're using some of those box store threads, maybe it's time to ditch them and get some good thread. So you can always get some of that thread in our shop as well. We have several colors available of this Aurifil thread because I love it. We're hoping to be carrying more and more thread here soon. And also our long arming thread, we love using glide thread. So more on that topic later though. So make sure you go check out the membership page as well and come join us. I can't wait to start making all these memory quilts with you. Every memory quilt has its own story and I can't wait to hear what yours is. So along with the membership, you're also going to get discounts on products and services like long arming or in-person classes or other online classes. You'll get your own unique code for that. And then members also get all of the 5 stages of the quilting journey and all those helpful tutorials to help you get going and troubleshoot things from beginner stuff, how to use things, how to do this kind of stuff that we did today, how to piece together blocks, how to do quilting math, all the fun things. There's tons and tons of fun things in that membership. What else? The memory quilt class. Oh, we do a live Zoom call once a month or so, every 4 weeks, so that you can join me and chat with me if you have any questions or you're having problems with something. We may be doing some live classes together that way. And then I'll do a Facebook Q&A once a month as well to help answer any questions that you may have. There's a box on our website to leave me questions, and it's so much fun, just so much fun. My dog is going crazy. She can't wait for you to join us. So make sure you come join us. And if you have any questions, leave those in the comment box or give us a message. And let me just go through the comment box here real quick. Rochelle says she finds that 5 top tension and 2.25 for her stitch length when she uses 50 weight thread. That's great. Maybe that's what your machine needs. So that's why I encourage you to play around with it. Just kind of, for those who are newbies, just start at that 2.5 stitch length and 4 for your tension, and then play with it and see. Just move it just a little tiny bit at a time and see how it works for you. Just get a scrap piece of fabric like I did, like this, and just do some rows of stitches and then look at it. See if it looks correct or not. You'll be able to tell if it's not correct. You can see the top thread coming through the bottom if it's too tight on the bottom, and if it's too tight on the top, you'll be able to see your bobbin coming through on the top. So you kind of want those to sit right in the middle of your layers, and you'll be able to tell that after some practice. So you're welcome to reach out to me anytime you have any problems or questions though, and I would love to help you. I think that's it for today. So we'll see you next week, which is the 15th already of July. Holy moly. We're going to do our live fabric sale. I have some great fabric that came in, and we'll see you then. Have a great weekend. Bye.